Hi, I'm Ken from Crypto Trading KS. It's great to see you again. Let's run the numbers. Bitcoin currently down 0.67% to 59,289. Ethereum down 1.88% to 43.25. My goal is to assist you to be more of a financial blessing to yourself and those you love, and also gain real wealth in the process. Rule 774, master yourself to master the market. This is incredibly important. Trading and investing is all about psychology. One psychological focus can be your life trend, a positive life trend towards real wealth. That's all about inner and outer peace, fulfillment and meaning, purpose, and especially fearlessness, as well as money. To combat self-sabotage and self-doubt, it's critically important to understand how worthy you are. And why are you worthy? Because you're absolutely unique. In the history of this world, there will never ever be another one of you. Therefore, you deserve kindness, love, meaning, and every success in life. And you deserve success in your investing and trading. If you're new to the community, welcome, of course. And we go through Bitcoin because Bitcoin moves the crypto market. This is something that a lot of people new to crypto don't actually understand. Your beloved alts will move in conjunction or opposing Bitcoin, but 99% of the time they move with Bitcoin's directional movement. What does that mean? If you've seen your beloved alt selling down hard recently, that's because of the association that they have, directional correlation with Bitcoin. Ultimately, no alt can escape Bitcoin's gravity. This is Rule 45. What we can see in Bitcoin's price, currently Bitcoin is trading at 58,901. It's holding this upward support line. That's a good thing. We can see that it's overcome 3 levels of resistance, this very sharp one, the secondary sharp one, and this lesser one. It's actually also pushing through the 4th level. It's just underneath it at the moment. Let me draw that in for you. There's that 4th level of resistance. It has overcome 3. It's on the 4th now. When it overcomes the 4th, it's on its way to test this downward resistance line. There's going to be a lot of sellers there trying to push the price of Bitcoin down. That's what the shorts love to do. They make money from buying at a higher price and then selling at a lower price. Not a bad way to go. And we always understand that the market is moving in a wave. It's coming up and then going down, coming up, going down, coming up, going down, and of course when it gets over resistance, it starts to go up. There are basically 3 things that we need to keep our eye on. One is the Mt. Gox rehabilitation of around $9 billion worth of Bitcoin. The next one is the debt ceiling, and the third one is Evergrande. And we want to go independent of the news. News sources and news sites are all about sensationalism. They want to get you in through fear so that advertisers get your attention. What we do is that we independently assess these things. The Mt. Gox rehabilitation was supposedly starting about 3 days ago. We can see through the Mt. Gox reserve that their Bitcoin remains unchanged. It's remained unchanged for quite a while. This is how we independently assess the news. The second piece of major news is the debt ceiling. The debt ceiling was pushed to December the 3rd. Now Janet Yellen says that by December the 15th, the US government could run out of money. Note that the article date is November the 16th. People are not paying a lot of attention to the debt ceiling, but when it gets closer, all hell is going to break loose. And you can already see there's a bit of a non-event happening. If it was really important, they would be talking much more about it. The third thing that we need to look at is the Chinese property market. Evergrande is deeply in debt and is defaulting potentially on its US denominated foreign bonds. We can see Evergrande from the stock market, from the Chinese stock market in blue. It's taken an absolute hammering. That's a technical term for falling off a cliff. What we see here is the whole Chinese property market has gone with Evergrande. Fantasia Holdings, Greenland Holdings, Country Garden, Vanke, they're all suffering price-wise. However, when price starts to turn around, we'll feel a lot more confidence in the Chinese property market. And we don't need to get our confidence from news sources because they exist to put the fear, maximum amount of fear inside you. Why? So you'll read the article. It's good for their sales, but unfortunately, when you read things, you can get shaken out of the market. Looking at the latest headlines for Evergrande, we can see they, on November the 19th, so that's quite a few days ago as well, they raised $347 million from their EV business sale. So what does it mean probabilistically for crypto? Crypto is a highly news sensitive thing because there's so many investors and they're very fear-based, so they can sell, and they sell right into the arms of institutional buyers. What we do on this community, in this channel, is to think institutionally, not like retail. So what do we see? Mt. Gox, non-event. Debt ceiling, not talked about. Everything the same with Evergrande. Do we expect any problems here? Yes, there could be a degree of volatility, but that's fantastic. Why? Because Mt. Gox is just something that needs to be resolved. The debt ceiling will be passed, and obviously if the Chinese Communist Party, the CCP, doesn't step in and save the real estate market, it will probably be overthrown. Of course they will save the property market. It's so incredibly important to the Chinese people. So does this mean that the price of crypto, which is a highly volatile asset class, will just soar up now? Probably not. There's a lot of news outlets making big deals about especially Mt. Gox and really freaking a lot of people out. And they explain the recent sell-off in crypto is all because of Mt. Gox. I don't believe that's true at all. I think what we've seen is a natural wave up and a natural wave down. It's been really, really strong price action. I believe the truth is that people bought around 30,000 and they sold 60,000 plus and banked in 100% profit. I don't think it's anything more than that. But keep your eye on these support levels, 55,590 and 49,305. The psychological sell wall will exist around the $70,000 mark. Therefore, when we get to 73,638, it's clear skies ahead. As a community, we embrace fearlessness. How do you become fearless? You make in advance probabilistic choices. You don't just go myopic and only look, oh, the price needs to go up and up and up, because you know price is always moving in a wave. It goes up and it goes down and it goes sideways. That's what price does. It's the interaction of crowd psychology. When you have a choice, when you make a choice in advance, you know what you're going to do when price goes up. You know what you're going to do if price moves against you, and you know what you're going to do if everything gets boring and goes horizontal. It's also important to understand that crypto exists within a financial ecosystem that's related to stocks and bonds. Going back to the end of 2020, the global stock market was worth approximately $95 trillion. In August of 2020, the bond market was worth $128 trillion. And let's say that crypto was worth around $2 trillion. What we're seeing here, if 10% of the stock market and 10% of the bond market flowed into crypto, that would explode the value of crypto. Just keep these things in mind. Looking at a $20 trillion plus crypto market is not out of the question by any stretch of the imagination. The other thing to realize, the relationship between stocks and bonds is really important. When the stock market gets overheated, bond prices start to go up. People want to go into bonds and the yields fall. This is really important to look at in terms of our early warning system. So let's look across the markets and see how things are going. The S&P 500 is up 31% for the past year. Gold, poor old gold, down 1% for the past 12 months. And Bitcoin up 221% for the past year. Looking across the main markets, we can see the VIX, the fear gauge of the market. The fear is coming up. The fear is returning to the market. And we know the price is always moving in a wave. If we look at the NASDAQ 100, we had quite a retracement and then it bounced like a Super Bowl. It's just coming up and up and up. We can see light crude oil hit resistance and bounce back. We can see the bond prices, they're currently under resistance. The bond yields are being supported, but they're coming into resistance as well. We can also see the gold hit resistance and it's bounced down from there, but it also has underneath support. The US dollar currency index is having a party. It's just going up and up and up. Now, what does this mean for Bitcoin? What you can see here is Bitcoin's fingerprint in the background of every single one of these charts. When people say, oh, Bitcoin went up and the dollar's going up and the DXY has an inverse relationship to Bitcoin, so therefore Bitcoin will come down. Well, that's easy to prove, isn't it? Because we would just say this is Bitcoin's fingerprint. It started down here, it's currently up there, and this is the DXY. It started here and it's currently up here, and these two lines must be inverse to each other. They must cross each other. Hang on a second, they don't cross each other at all. They're moving in the same direction. So goes the mainstream media's pitch on so many complex issues. We've just literally debunked what most financial journalists refer to all the time. It's really important to fact check the news. Often we need to zoom out and we need to gain a greater picture of what is actually happening. That's why we use the KS model. The KS model is a crypto technical trading model based on institutional price psychology. We're currently in the bull market psychology of the current run. Every run between halvings has 3 distinct cycles. A bull market psychology where prices go rocket off to the moon. When the rocket hits the moon, the peak of the bull market is set and the bear market begins. And when the rocket finally comes down to land on Earth and get rebuilt, that is called capitulation, and that hammers in the low of the bear market. In consolidation, the rocket is rebuilt and sputters back into life. When it crosses the halving, it starts to shoot up. What we're seeing is that price is being supported very well. The relative strength is there inside the market. This is just a pullback. You can notice these lightning bolts. The lightning bolts indicate particular black swan events, and they happen all the time in financial markets. When we get these black swan events, we can go in and buy because we're lowering our average buy price. Have a look at the COVID crisis here, the US liquidity crisis, 12th of March 2020, when Bitcoin went from over $10,000 to under $4,000. Can you imagine buying Bitcoin for under $4,000 and currently sitting on it? Not bad. The current price of Bitcoin is $59,113.36. It's just here. These black swans are the ultimate dollar cost averaging solution. The next important question is, what happens when the bull market peak is set and the bear market starts? I would anticipate an absolute minimum high for this bull market of $132,418 and a peak up to $486,000, but a minimum around $288. When we talk about the bear market The bear market is all about a reduction in price. Why does this occur? Because price gets so out of hand. There's so much craziness in the market. Price literally goes straight up the wall, and it goes up hard. When it comes down, when it corrects hard as well, because price has become unsustainable. So what does that all mean? We've seen 85+% retracements in Bitcoin since the start, since the inception of Bitcoin. But what is Bitcoin's price doing? It's going up, and it will continue to go up. Fidelity Investments predicts around $1 million per Bitcoin from 2026 onwards, and 10 million per Bitcoin from 2030 onwards. The amount of money that's in the markets is astounding to people. I think a lot of people look from a retail perspective. There's actually $1 quadrillion just in derivatives. A lot of people say that it can't be possible. Bitcoin cannot go to $10 million per Bitcoin. That's probably what people thought when Bitcoin was 1 cent. It can't possibly go to $60,000. It's just impossible. But it's reality, and we'll see over time this will be reality too. Fidelity Investments has more than $4 trillion of assets under management. When it puts out an estimate, it can't afford to get things wrong. I've left a link in the description to the KS model predicting Bitcoin at 486,000 by May the 25th, 2020. That's on Medium. It's a really interesting read, and it's all about institutional price psychology, not retail. It goes through a lot of information, but the critical thing is to understand what Bitcoin and crypto actually represents. It's the upgrade to the next level of the internet, which is the internet of value. I'll let this article speak for itself, but it's really, really cool to read. Many people, when they're new to crypto, think that the market will just pole vault up and it will never come down. Looking back to the 2016 bull run, that's the past bull market psychology, because we always have to compare bull market to bull market to bull market. If we compare bull market to bear market, we're going to get really confused, because the psychology of positive price expectation to absolute negative price expectation, they're non-comparable. So it's best not to do that unless you want to lose a lot of money. What we see here is in the previous bull run, we had a really massive increase when we got over a level of resistance, but then that was followed by 20 and 40% retracements. These retracements are always occurring. 20, 30, 40, even 50% retracements are common, and that is in Bitcoin. When Bitcoin comes down 40%, you know what's happening to the alts. They're bleeding. We do get some alts that capture the hearts and mind and attention of the crypto market even when the price of Bitcoin is coming down. I'm starting a new series on tracking the 8 winners and the 8 losers each day. I think that will give you some opportunities in the market, and of course will help you to see when things are turning around as well. Looking at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, we can see that fear is leaving the market. Confidence is starting to come back in. That will support higher prices. When we see a lot of fear getting into the market, that's the ultimate time to dollar cost average in. Let's have a look at the top 8. We can see Bitcoin finding a level of support, and the current price hasn't reached that level of support. If it comes down and reaches that around $54,500 or even comes back to 50,000, that's incredibly healthy. And we know the media can overreact to stories and cause people to freak and panic. If that's the case, we've set, as a community, we've set lower buy orders in our 10-5-10 volatility fund to take advantage of that. We can see Ethereum is being really well supported on price, and if Ethereum comes down to around the 39.50 mark, it will just be touching support, nothing else. That's really natural price action, nothing to see here. This is normal stuff. We can see Binance Coin, when it comes down and touches around 473, that would just be touching support. You can see Binance Coin currently at 588.70. It's doing really well. When we see Solana has improved well. It had a bit of a wobble there. It dropped below its support line, but it was quickly repaired because it hit that support line at 204.12 and then just bounced. It's doing quite well today. XRP is literally just coming back to support. We can see Cardano. Cardano is much weaker. It will probably end up going to the 170.07 mark, and hopefully it will start to turn around. Cardano has a lot of power. It's just been out of the spotlight for quite a long time. DOT is just below its support line, but not seriously below. It's starting to come back, and let's see how that one plays out. DOGE is coming into support as well. You'll notice how it plays out across the top 8. The top 8 are very important to look at. Let's have a look at the community favorites. We can see Veracity coming back to support, getting over this resistance and turning upwards. Could be very interesting. Icon starting to bounce from that support level. Well done, Icon. We can see IOTX doing really well, starting to bounce from this support. That is what we expect when things come up to support, especially when they've got upward price momentum. When they retrace, we expect to bounce. We can see IOTA, that was actually done in a previous episode, starting to bounce here. It's starting to repair around. MTV, Multiback, is also starting its upward path. We can see Harmony 1 overcoming resistance. The important thing here is never go all in and seek to buy in layers and let price come to you. Harmony has various levels of support below it, so we could expect a bit of wobble in the price. AVAX has been doing incredibly well. Look at this very solid price action. It's actually just coming back to a level of support at 127.85. It looks fantastic, but we'd never ever FOMO in. As a community, we're fearless. We use probabilistic fearlessness to buy in layers, knowing that we can always get a long tail rejection, and that long tail rejection can spike through these levels and slurp up our buy orders. That's why it's so important to go to a centralized exchange. I've left my favorite centralized exchanges in the description of this video. We can see CTSI above support. It's looking quite good. It's almost getting ready to overcome resistance. I'd like to thank the very kind community members who've reached out to me and explained how Rule 774, master yourself to master the market, has really helped them. Self-mastery is really important in life, but it's critical when it comes to investing and trading. That's because the news can freak you out. The news is probably the source of the greatest losses ever in investing and trading. The news is not your friend. They don't want you to make money. They want to make money from your attention. That's why it's really important to fact check the news and not to be shaken out of your positions. It's really important that you develop self-confidence as much as you can, and that's made easier by understanding that you're worthy and unique. You deserve kindness, love, meaning, and every success in life. This little quote helps to fight self-sabotage and self-doubt, and self-sabotage and self-doubt are very, very common things. I hope you found the content useful. Please consider sharing and liking this video if you think it will help others. Thank you to our moderators for keeping our community safe from scammers. Please say hi and let me know where you're viewing from and if you have any questions. If you would like daily updates on price movements in the crypto market, please subscribe to YouTube. I've left helpful links in the description of this video. Please remember, crypto is volatile. Always prepare yourself for the best and worst case scenarios. Reality will likely be between them. Stay safe out there, take care, and see you next time. Bye for now.